Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Glory Hunter. We're back today with what I'm hoping is going to be the final sort of episode of the season. We're going to try and round up the Bundesliga campaign and also the Europa League as well. And then my plan is to come back, if we get to a Europa League final, to come back with that as a separate episode with a full season roundup. So we've got 6 games in the Bundesliga and potentially 3 in the Europa League as well if we get to a semi-final. So going to be a couple of sims and quite a few played games as well. So without taking any more time, let's just jump into this. First game is, of course, against Wolfsburg, who are just below us in the league. But I think we're pretty cemented in 4th place now. So, as I say, probably going to be a few sims. If we can win this one against Wolfsburg as well, then I'd be fairly confident of us finishing in the top 4. Let's jump into this one. Wolfsburg away. All right, then, guys. First game up today. Wolfsburg away from home at the is it the Volkspark Stadion, I think. This could be our first of potentially 9 games in today's episode, so Werner's offside. We're going to try and rattle through. Most of the highlights will probably be the goals as and when they go in, especially if we keep up our brilliant scoring run. So yeah, let's see how we get on and have a bit of fun to close out the season, because we don't really have anything to play for, so we can test out a few more players as well and see what we think going into the new season. Tielemans slides in. I'm still not massively sold on Yuri and Ruben in that midfield together. Here's Werner. Timo drags it wide. I don't think we can play both of them in there at the same time. We need more energy and more legs in that midfield. Tielemans plays it in behind to Werner. Back to Yuri. Now it's Ruben Neves, strikes it from the edge. And it's pushed behind by the Wolfsburg keeper. Sessegnon's ball in. Might keep that alive here. It does. Werner nods down looking for Sessegnon. Defender gets a toe in. Werner will keep it alive here. Tielemans. Ryan Sessegnon on his right foot. Pushed behind. And we will have a corner to close out this first half. Neves will swing it in. Looking for Pau Torres. Is the ref going to let us play on? No, there is the whistle. 0-0 at half time, and not really any chances so far. It's been tight and cagey. Comes out to Duarte. Now Pau Torres. Quick football from us. Sadio Mane, big save by Mantella in the Wolfsburg goal. Has Neves on the edge of the box to strike it first time, and the captain nearly opened the scoring there. Neves ball in. It will fall to Torres here. Gets it back to Neves. Now Duarte. Recycled well. Bowen. Neves surely fouled. We play on though. Now it's Jesus from the edge. Oh, Mantella again pushes it behind. Neves with the delivery. Looking for Bella Kotchap, nearly fell to RDT at the back post, and that'll do it. It's a 0-0 draw. With the way that we've been banging them in, probably wouldn't have expected that. But to be honest, a point's not a terrible result. It keeps us still ahead of Wolfsburg by quite a few points. I think it was like 5 points or something. So we'll probably take that heading into the next game. I think we've got the second leg of the Europa League quarter-final, which is, of course, once again against German opposition. Okay, then here we go. It's Frankfurt away from home. Quarter-final, second leg. We obviously hold a 3-2 aggregate scoreline where we narrowly beat them at the Bayer Arena, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to get through this in the sim. If we have to jump in, like in the last leg against West Ham, then we will. But there's an early lead. Mitchell Bakker with the goal. 4-2 on aggregate. And we look like we might be on our way to the semis. Bowen finds... It's Timo Werner. I thought it was Sadio Mane, but it's Werner off the bench. And that will do it. 5-2 on aggregate. That'll be us into the semis. There is the full-time whistle, and it's pretty comfortable in the end. A 2-0 victory on the night 5-2 on aggregate will see us into the Europa League semi-finals, and hopefully we'll be able to see the semi-final draw straight away. It will either be a trip back to Italy to face Lazio, Spurs, who we faced in the Champions League with Roma last year, or the Dutch side Ajax. So then we'll take a look at the semi-final draw. As you can see, we're 5 points ahead of Wolfsburg now. Where is it? UEFA Europa League. We will take on Lazio. Interesting one. We had some interesting rivalries, some interesting battles against them during our time in Italy with Roma, and it could be a trip back to the Olimpico. We'll be at home in the first leg, so we'll sim that and then potentially might have to play the second at the Olimpico. Before that though, we've got Hoffenheim in the league, and with so many games to squeeze in today, I think I'm going to sim this one. Alright then guys, so we're going to go ahead and sim this one. We'll jump into the interactive sim, sorry. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I was in complete autopilot. We quick simmed it. We got the job done. Sal gave them the lead, but Sessegnon, Gabriel Jesus and Baku for us turned the game on its head. We'll take the 3 points. I did say I wanted to try and get through the games as quickly as I could. So 3-1 victory there. I'm not sure who it is that we face next. It is in the Bundesliga, I believe. It's Hertha Berlin away, so we will jump into that and it will be another played game. Alright then, here we go. Live from the Olympiastadion. It's Hertha Berlin in the league. Really good team to do a career mode with, actually. Couple of good players, interesting kits, got a good ground, real ground that's in the game. Oh, Timo could be away already. Go on, Timo. Stretch those legs, my son. Drilled across, and there is our early goal. Gabriel Jesus, what a counter-attack that is. Not a huge amount to play for in the league, as before this game we actually moved 7 clear of Wolfsburg, so looks pretty comfortable that we're going to be 4th, so we can rotate a few players. As I've said, we're still testing players out, seeing who's going to be here for next year. All lofted in. Pau Torres doesn't get there, and Melier, who's grown to 84 rated now, puts that behind for the corner. Ball's played in and cleared at the near. Shot comes in from range, and Melier forced into action again. Hertha Berlin looking to get straight back into this. Mane guarding that near post area again. Gets something on it. Cleared from in front of Melier. And now we can get it away. Looking to find Mane just ghosting into the penalty area. Will be a corner which Harrison can deliver. Backer's up again, and Backer this time scores. There's our second goal. Now we can start thinking about that Europa League semi-final in a few days' time. Oh, we've lost it there in a bad position. They look to come forward, got a man over, and they have got a goal back. Just switched off a little bit. It's 2-1, and they're back in the game. And that should just about do it for Bayer Leverkusen. Oh, great ball through. It is a third. I think it's RDT who buries it. It is Raul de Thomas wraps up the victory here away at the Olympiastadion. Lovely little ball through, slams it home, and that I imagine will do it. Pretty comfortable despite the goal that they got with about 10 to go. We move on to the next one. It's the Europa League semi-final first leg back at home at the Bayer Arena. Hopefully we can get another good convincing victory in the first leg. Right, here we go then. Europa League semi-final first leg here at the Bayer Arena. Good football this from Lazio. Away from Baku, pulled back, surely going to be 1-0, and is. Enzo Fernandez now playing for Lazio, who tucks it in. Couldn't really miss, but the away side do take the lead. Timo Werner on the run. Gabriel Jesus surely to equalise, and he does. It's 1-1, game back on. Jesus now losing out. Unlike him, ball through, surely for 2-1, and it is. It's Enzo Fernandez again. Oh, don't concede a third, boys. Don't concede a third. Huge save by Melier. And again, Ilhan Melia keeping us in this tie. If they get a third, it might be good night Leverkusen. And they have got a third late on. It's Villa, I think, off the bench. That is so frustrating. We're definitely going to have to play that second leg away at the Olimpico. It's a 3-1 loss and they've come to our own backyard and taken us apart. Alright then guys, back to domestic matters before that huge second leg in the Europa League semi-final. It's Borussia Mönchengladbach at home. It's actually a relatively big game because they are just below us in the league table. It's obviously quite tight for points below us. A couple of teams trying to catch us, but I've made a whole host of changes with that second leg to come, as I'm fairly confident we'll make it into the top four. En-Nesyri through to RDT, finishes it brilliantly into the top corner, and we take the lead inside 6 minutes again. But that game in a couple of days' time in the Europa League is our sole objective towards the end of this season. Huge game, that one. But we take a lead here, we've got to take it game by game, and RDT gives us the lead against Mönchengladbach. Big gap there. Ball's fizzed out to Kone. Dropped off, and it's 1-1. Great build-up. It's Jonas Hoffmann still at Mönchengladbach. It is a very, very changed side for us here. Defending for Bella Kotchap to do here. Oh, it's hit the post. Hit the inside of the post. Somehow not crept in. Ilhan Melia a little bit lucky not to be beaten. Could be in a bit of trouble here. He's offside. And there's the full-time whistle. It's a pretty credible 1-1 draw with the side that we had out. Not many chances in the game, and you can see for once us with just the 2 shots in the entire game. 0.8 XG. Very unlike us, but like I say, the side we had out was merely just for rotation. On to this huge one, Europa League semi-final, second leg against Lazio, a trip and a return to the Stadio Olimpico. So I didn't actually think it throughout the game, but that that draw against Borussia Mönchengladbach actually means that we now cannot be caught. So the lowest we will finish is 4th place. You can see there Wolfsburg and Mönchengladbach both on 55.7 behind us. We can actually finish as high as 2nd, and we can leapfrog Leipzig as well into 3rd. I'm not so sure we will with just the 2 games left to play, but as I say, before that, huge one at the Olimpico. Chance to get into the Europa League final once again, so let's get to it. Come on by Leverkusen. Alright then guys, back at the Olimpico, not to face Roma, but Lazio, and we have a huge uphill task. We have to overcome a 2-goal deficit, and we need to win by 3 clear goals to make it through to the final. With our record, I wouldn't necessarily say it's impossible with the amount of goals that we've been scoring, but during our time at Rome, we never really put that many past Lazio, and we know how good they are. This is going to be a really tough test, and we could really do with an early goal in this one. Werner through to Mane. Jesus in support, looks to take it in his stride. Gabriel Jesus, we do have an early goal. Pick up that ball, my son. Inside 5 minutes again. We've been loving our early goals. And look at Werner storming down the left-hand side. Timo Werner into the penalty area. Werner, oh, it's off the woodwork. Oh, it's so unlucky from Timo. We were nearly back on level terms just 12 minutes into the affair. Oh, it feels like there's going to be goals in this one. Ryan Sessegnon, 2-2. Just like that. I think it was Zikanyi or possibly the left back who switched off. Didn't track the run of Ryan Sessegnon, and I said if anyone could do it, it's us with the amount of goals we scored. Didn't go with his runner. Sessegnon just bends it past Lafont. Neves into Jesus. Mane on the run. Sadio Mane. Mane! Oh, it's outrageous. They're trying to play this high press, possibly because they're on their home patch, but it's just not working. We're playing through them. It's risk and reward football, and this time the risk has not been worth the reward. Before we've even reached the half-an-hour mark, we've completely turned the tie on its head, and we now lead on aggregate. 5 to play here for Lazio to find an equaliser. Given away by Enzo. RDT through the gap. Mane, brilliant save, and will settle for the corner. Bowen wins a corner again, and a little bit of sportsmanship down in the corner. We're just keeping the ball in here. It's all we need to do to see us into the final. Now it's into Werner. Now Mane blazes it, but it won't matter. What a turnaround in Rome. Lazio with that 3-1 aggregate advantage going into this second leg. The home fans can't believe it. But we turned it on in that first half an hour. 3 goals which see us through to the final. I think we'll face Tottenham bar some miracle from Ajax. But it ends here. Lazio 0, Leverkusen 3. And we go through to the Europa League final. 4-3 on aggregate. What a turnaround from the boys. So we will have a look together who it will be in the Europa League final. I think we know who it's going to be, and there it is. It's Tottenham in the Europa League final, looking to end their trophy drought. Will they be able to do it? It's against a Bayer Leverkusen side that score goals for fun, but it's a final, anything can happen. Before that though, to close out this episode, we will have our final 2 league games against, I believe that's Fortuna Düsseldorf and then SC Freiburg at home as well. So let's close out the season. We're cemented in 4th pretty much. We could catch Leipzig, but it's pretty unlikely. Right then, Düsseldorf Arena for this one. Fortuna Düsseldorf. Oh my god, that is a terrible ball. Ray keeps it in just about. But we look to close out the season. Not a huge amount to play for here. We could potentially catch 3rd. I'm not too sure we will. But a chance, once again, just to test out the squad, use some different players and think ahead to next season. RDT with a foot in. RDT with the strike deflected and saved well. Held on to by the keeper. Boré steals in. Sessegnon. Gundogan can hit it on his left, straight at the keeper, but again forcing him into a save. Given away there cheaply to Gabriel Jesus, who can bring it forward. Looks to pick out RDT on the volley, brilliant strike, and RDT with another goal. Not sure how many his tally is for the season, but he knows where the back of the net is. For everything he doesn't do well, he knows how to find the back of the net. Now can bring it forward. Jesus around the corner for Jared Bowen. Not scored many this year. Nearly sneaks that in. Might have taken a deflection. Good save by the keeper. Corner's played in, and I think that's Gundogan with the goal. Silky Ilky wearing the captain's armband today. He's an experienced player. Goes into the danger area. Gets there before anyone else. Heads home to score, I think, his first Bundesliga goal of the season. Now here's Gundogan striding forward again. Gundogan, oh, it's off the crossbar. What a strike from Silky Ilkay Gundogan. Sydney down the right, looks for En-Nesyri. Oh, what a miss that is. I think it was actually Gabriel Jesus. Huge chance goes begging. It's been a really comfortable game this. They've not really threatened us at all. There's a full-time whistle. It was comfortable. We only scored the 2, but we just kind of played the game in first gear. It was nice and easy. You can see not many highlights there. Very comfortable game. On to the final game of the season, which is, of course, Freiburg at home. Right then, guys, time for the season finale. We've got a couple of good buys, as I'm sure there'll be a few players off in the summer, and a parting gift to Stevan Savic, who gets a start in this one. thought I'd finally give him a game because I've actually not used him yet in a played game in this series. So Stefan Savic starts in what is again a heavily rotated side. A few more players that will probably be on the way out. Oh, Mane off the loose touch. Mane slams it home. This man won't be going anywhere. He's 33 now. He's declining in rating, but he's still got a big part to play. Sadio Mane 1-0. Mane's on the run again. Great ball over the top. Sadio Mane holds off his man. Mane slams it home on his left foot. What a finish from Mane. And what a signing he has been since coming in the January window. Great running in behind. He's still got that pace. Puts it on his left foot. Bang. 2-0. Probably game over already. What a way to end the season. My God, Savic is slow. And there's a goal back. It's not going to be a clean sheet for Musso on his final game. My God, Stefan Savic is a slow old bastard. Be a bit of a goal fest this. The final game of the season quite often is, because I like to rotate and give players minutes who are leaving or retiring. So quite often we're weaker and it ends up being a bit of a goal fest. Could be the same here today. 3 in the opening 20. Good ball. Here's Mane. Round the corner. Peg back to Sadio Mane. Surely for the hat-trick. It is. It's 3. Said it could be a goal glutz. We've got our third. Harrison with the assist and what will probably be his final appearance. Sadio Mane slams home. Couldn't miss. Back and now finds Mane. Through the gap to Amiri. Might not get a goal but should get an assist. En-Nesyri, it is 4-1. An assist for Nadiem Amiri and a goal for Youssef En-Nesyri, both most likely in their final appearance for the club. A good little send-off for both of them in, as I say, what will probably be their final game. In front of the home fans is 4-1 Leverkusen. Oh, Musso, what are you doing, mate? Where are you going? Don't think he's good enough to be our backup keeper next year. He's done alright in the sim games, but that's poor from him. If he's coming, which I've not told him to do, he's got to get there. RDT round the corner. Gabriel Jesus off the woodwork. Oh, and a header from Duarte pushed over by the keeper. Brilliant save. Corner's flicked on. Saved by the keeper and cleared. And that'll pretty much do it as we tick into the 90th minute. Referee will surely blow time on the game and the Bundesliga season as a whole as we look to get another. Oh, it should have been 5. RDT misses it. And there is the full-time whistle. 4-2 to Bayer Leverkusen. I said it might be a bit of a goal glut. Sadio Mane with a hat-trick and then En-Nesyri with a goal in his final appearance for the club. But that will wrap up the 2025-26 season. And we, of course, have the Europa League final to look forward to. Let's go and have a quick look at the league table just to close out this episode. So there is the full final Bundesliga table as we have a new champion in Borussia Dortmund. We managed to rack up 3rd place, jumping ahead of RB Leipzig as they dropped points on match day 33, losing to Dortmund. But they do make up the top 4 with Mönchengladbach in 5th and Wolfsburg in 6th. So guys, thank you for watching another season in the Glory Hunter save. Of course, it was only really half a season, as we had to join halfway through due to the terrible game mechanics in the browse jobs section. But regardless, I am really enjoying this Leverkusen side. We've obviously had one January transfer window. We've got the summer next year where we'll probably look to shift on a few players. Lots of stuff to be done, but before that we will have the Europa League final and full season roundup in the next episode. And then, of course, we've got the World Cup with England as well before we kick off the new campaign with Bayer Leverkusen. And the way that we performed in the second half of that season, especially with the amount of goals we scored, we were by far the top scorers in the league. If we improve our defence, I think we can challenge for the Bundesliga next season. And of course, we will have a crack at the Copa del Rey for the first time and be back in the Champions League. But all of that to come very soon, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this season finale, and we will be back with that Europa League final very soon. Peace.